Alright, hello and welcome back to follow up the next progress episode of the Ironman series. As of not so surprising idea, we are going to continue a little bit with the Barrows grind. Last time we had around 150 chests to go through, but this time way more. Let's see how long we will be continuing this grind once again. And one chest at a time, just like that, Barrows starts to remind me what I remember it was being, a huge fucking grind. This is why I wasn't returning here a lot, but eventually, around 30 chests later, I get some Barrows items drop. Unfortunately, this is Carol's top, which is another duplicate, but it's worth 2 million, so not too bad. A few more chests. At chest 1474 I got Tarot blade legs as a Barrows drop 10. This was a nice upgrade once again for its price, and continuing 5 more chests. I found finally Ahrim's hood, which was an unique drop, and then I got into a huge dry streak.
A few moments later. Much later. Much later.
And then finally, after 76 dry chests at KC 1555, I found the next item, which unfortunately once again was a duplicate of Tarok Great Axe, which is fortunately at least valuable item drop. Nearing borderline insanity, after 30 more chests, I finally got one more Barrows item as a drop. This time I got once again duplicate Barrows rooftop this time, which was also valuable, luckily. $40 more chests to go until the next Barrows item, which was once again one more duplicate of Carol's skirt as a drop 14. Taking just 10 more chests to go, and I finally got another duplicate of Ahrim's hood. After this I was starting to get real tired of this shit, and I continued up to around 350 chests until I decided to do something else. I headed to bank and something else to do. I decided to go around building stash units around the world of Glenor. I decided to do this simply by going around each stash location around the world and filling them up if I hadn't built them previously. I went to get myself some Legendscape and started going. Why I decided to do this now was because at the Winterthod I got myself 88 construction, which means I can build even the master stashes now. This gives me option to also clear up my bank and try to clean my space a little bit. I went to just visit and see if there's a stash build, and if there is one already, I assume it's already filled. Speedrunning through the world and trying to find each one of them. I had to do quite a lot of searching and buying of really random and strange items as well, if I didn't have each one of those. To save up your time a little bit, I'm not going to continue this any further. Obviously it's going to take tons of time to explain each stash unit, so if you need some more information for that, you maybe have to just check out the wiki page, I think. Going through every single location available, I went through them one by one, starting from the beginner ones, and got all the beginner stash units built. I also got all of the easy stash units built and filled, and I eventually got almost every medium one done, but I didn't have stuff like Bob's shirt as an example, so I guess I have to do more of the clues to complete all of these. I also left out with about 10 of the hard stashes and mostly elite and master stashes to complete. For some just random items I had to spend some extra time, such as slaying the wizards for the wizard blue robe bottom, and also I decided to just get my chef's hat from beating up maybe 70 goblins to have this one really expensive item for myself. After I finally got done with investigating all of the stash units and making my list clear what I need to do later, it was time to once again head back to bank, go through the bank log and make sure there's no useless items stored anymore, and start to plan what to do next. And at this point, after building almost all of the stash units, it was obviously time to go through the treasure trails and clue scrolls collected in the bank. I believe this is the smartest place to do this, as it's obviously using something you have just built for yourself. But going through the clue scrolls one by one, slowly I also had a reminder of the mimic chest, which was a new boss when I was last time checking out. So I had to go and figure out how this works. I had to accept having the boss for myself from the mimic chest in Hosidius. And from the next one I happened to luckily find myself a mimic chest, so it was time to start and try out the new boss as well at the same time. That's cool. I had really not too much idea what to do with the boss, but I just grabbed myself some food from the bank and headed to boss lair to see how it feels like and if it's nice or intuitive. The first try of the mimic boss was actually quite surprising, as I didn't really think and wait for, first of all, any minions of the mimic chest. I also didn't really think of mimic chest using all of the damage types, and I just eventually tried out killing them out, but I didn't even know that they will be respawning, so I just wasted my time this round, and I didn't have a chance after I also had used half of my food already for just the minions. I noticed a few mechanics, such as mimic stomping on me, so it was also a useful tryout for me. So I just stayed a little bit to figure out the mechanics before running away. But now, luckily, I of course had some more knowledge and insight of the boss mechanics, and it was time to gear up for real. I grabbed myself some better food, filled up my HP and prayer, and decided to not care about minions at all. Not a single F given for the minions. Heading back to the mimic lair, I started to beat it with some nice damage acid Cheetos. but eventually chipping off his HP, and it was looking like it could be a disaster, but let's see how it goes. And just as I'm running out of food, I finally have enough damage to deal it and get the final hit in the fight, giving me also the combat achievement from killing the mimic. I really liked the boss lair design, it was quite nice and pretty to be said, for the game design at least. It was time to open the chests, and I got the mimic glue box for myself. This means I can stack them, which is also a nice upgrade for long term. It was time to head back to treasure trails and finish off the remaining glue scrolls. Continuing off with the medium glue scrolls, I didn't really assume to find anything really interesting, and I found some runes and candy. Next medium glue eventually gave us a box as well and didn't require any extra items, but it just didn't really give us anything interesting eventually. And from the third one I found something different, which was green headband, which is at least a collection log markup, which is nice. Next up I decided to do the beginner glue scrolls with at least a few items missing, so I guess I should try to find the collection log markings from those as well. Unfortunately, both of them didn't have anything interesting for me, just a few K for the bank. Grabbing off the easy glues, it was time to once again try my luck, and didn't get anything interesting. With the second easy glue scroll, I found eventually at least black hate shield, which is unique collection mark, being at least a little bit useful. For the final easy one, I had just useless stuff once again. After this, I decided to check out the glue scroll at my bank, and it required mitre, which I unfortunately don't have, so I decided to drop this one and went back to the Barrows, obviously, where else. But going through the overview of the collection log, it's looking quite nice. With even this episode, I had quite a few markups. Thanks for watching. It's been nice, and let's continue around a week later. This episode was a bit late, sorry for that guys, but there are things to do outside RuneScape as well. Bye.